COPS stands for Community-Oriented Problem-Solving Teams, and each COPS team goes into a particular part of the community and works on problems that the community outlines for law enforcement. A lot of times law enforcement comes in and they work on things that they think are important or things that stand out to us. But COPS really makes the effort to meet with the community, address things that the community sees as affecting their quality of life, and going to work on those things. And some of them aren't enforcement oriented. In other words, a lot of times we deal with things such as trash in a particular community and work on helping get a neighborhood cleanup together, keeping that going on after we leave. We've even worked on things such as helping the community put together a after-school program for kids at a local community center, and bringing all the resources together and all the partners together in the community to make those things happen. We're really proud of the COPS teams. They work on these things for 4 weeks. We're getting ready to extend it to where they work for a 5-week period on these particular projects in the communities, and we feel like it's been one of the best things we've been able to do for the community.
Yesterday's meeting involved meeting with some of the other detectives from the Property Crimes Division at Buncombe County Sheriff's Office to gain their insight and some intelligence on some of the problem areas inside Candler. We discussed specific areas of concern where crime is spiking or is becoming more prevalent, and trying to get those areas under control. Today what we're doing is we're going to do some canvassing of the area for the local businesses and talk to them with regards to what they see and what they identify as problem areas for them. This is always the first step for the COPS teams. We have to identify the problem before we can really fix it. We're going to go try to make contact with various businesses in this area. Just meet them, shake their hands. Hey, how are you? Let them know that we're here. Let them know that we want to, that we're here to help and try to get their concerns.
We were here at the Enka-Candler fire station and talking to them about problems that they were having in the area, and one of the problems they mentioned was up here. Right now we're riding up to look at a homeless camp that's up here behind the gas station up here off exit 37. Our plan is just to evaluate the situation, see what tools and stuff we'll need to get it cleaned up. We'll probably here in the next couple days get a team of work inmates from the jail to come up here and clean it out, clean it up, and get everything back to normal.
So I told John to go ahead and document everything before, right, and then we'll come back and have it.
I went up there, evaluated the homeless camp. It looks like something that we can take the inmates out, work on, and get it cleaned up in the morning. Nobody was there. It looks like there hasn't been anybody there in a couple days now. That doesn't mean that they won't come back to that area, but hopefully we can get it cleaned up and keep them out of there. We'll contact the state and see if they can, there's a couple holes in the fence where they're getting into that area, see if they can fix that fence and try and keep them out of that area.
Okay, so we're on Youngs Cove Road right now in Campbell, and we're on our way to the Hominy Valley Fire Department just to speak with them about what community concerns they may have going on right now. So it's kind of one of those places where they've got a need for law enforcement, but just sometimes due to call volume, you know, not everybody makes it out there every day. So we're going to go out there and see if they have any special concerns or anything we can help them with. Do you guys have any hot spots that you go to a lot that anything we could do, or?
Probably just South Morgan Branch.
South Morgan Branch?
That's the big one there. That's just the majority of our
South Morgan.
Yeah. Mustard Ground Hill, top of Mustard Ground.
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda Church.
Right there near Piney Mountain?
Oh,
On Piney.
just
Seymour. 2 more humps.
Carolina Mountain Drive and Young's Cove. Right
Okay.
there. That's about, just the top of that hill is.
And then it starts back to Enka.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on Random Drive. It's called Kent Ridge Mobile Home Park. I haven't been up here for any calls lately. I'd have to pick a specific address to see, but we're just riding through the area, just let people see us, and maybe just our presence will, keep somebody from doing something they probably shouldn't do. Because they don't know why we're in here, so they don't, if they've got warrants or they're thinking about breaking into something, they may not do it now just because we're in here.
The next thing we're doing is we're trying to finish our canvas of the Candler area to find out what we need to focus on. Again, as we said earlier, we met with the detectives yesterday, and they were able to give us information. Now we're trying to get a feel for what the community wants us to look at or what they think the problem areas are. Hey. I'm doing well. Oh, it is. My name is John Thompson. I'm with the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office. What we are doing is we're with the COPS team. I don't know if you've ever heard of our team that we do. We take a select group of officers and we enforce an area, whether it's Candler, whether it's Leicester, whether it's Swannanoa, whatever's going on. What we're doing today is we're kind of canvassing the area to try and get a feel from business owners of what the major concerns are. So we'll be here for 4 weeks trying to figure out what we're going to focus on. But that's basically what we're doing, is just trying to make contact with business owners, just like we did in there, trying to find out if they have any issues, trying to get contact information, so if something should happen to the business while they're closed, we have somebody to contact with that. We'll go over here to insurance to see if they can talk to us.
We're on the way to a registered sex offender's house to try to serve a child support warrant where he's in arrears on his child support. So kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. If he's there, we get to take him to jail on the child support warrant. If he's not there and they claim he doesn't live there, he could potentially have a felony on him before too long. Okay, so we went to the sex offender's listed address. The lady that was living there said he hadn't been there in about 2 months, since the 12th of January, or a month rather. And she had a current lease agreement saying she's the resident there now. So we went next door to number 12 to talk to his brother. He confirmed that he hasn't lived there anymore. So now we're going to have to just forward the information up to the appropriate detective and let them follow up on it. And more than likely, that guy is going to get a felony warrant for failure to register as a sex offender for not notifying the sheriff of an address change.
Yeah, nothing since that happened, and overall, we've been here 12 years, and we've had maybe 2 incidents. They broke into some of their trucks and messed up some stuff on our dock, and then we had somebody tried to pry the gates off out here about 2 years ago, but
Nothing lately with it.
nothing lately.
So the business that we just left, they gave us information, no major information. We saw some graffiti on the side of the building, so we decided to stop there and talk to him, see if that was recent. He said that happened about 1.5 years ago or so, and he's not had any major issues of graffiti or vandalism since that point. But he did mention about the motorcycle gangs and groups that are going up and down the stretch of the freeway at like 80 to 100 miles per hour. And that just coincides with other information we've got that may be one of our problems that we'll have to tackle while we're out here.
Yeah, 1060 P Balls, Enka Lake Road to Queen Road. How y'all doing? Good. Where y'all headed to? Okay, so we just brought a guy to the Buncombe County Detention Center while just on routine patrol. He was walking and we stopped, just a casual encounter. Got to talking to him. He provided his name voluntarily, and he had an outstanding order for arrest. At that point, we took him into custody, no problems. Get in the car, and dispatch tells me that he's got a hit in DOC saying he's an active inmate. Well, obviously that's a problem because he's in the back of my car, he's not in prison. So come to find out, to make a long story short, he actually has a brother who uses his name quite a bit and had his name listed as an alias, and so that's why he was in the Department of Corrections database. He in fact wasn't in prison, and his brother had been charged for identity theft for using his name. So once we got that squared away, we brought him up here to the detention center. He was served and processed, and so he's in the process right now of going through booking to be released.
At 11:30 today, we're going to go meet at, it's called the community table. It's a luncheon group that meets here in Candler. We're going to go eat there and sit down with the community and talk there, and then we'll go back this afternoon and reassess everything that we got.
This is one of the gathering places for the community here in Candler. The COPS team is assigned to work the Candler area for the next 30 days. So what we're trying to do is meet with as many people as possible, let them see a presence of the Sheriff's Department, have one-on-one conversations with these individuals, try to gather information about what is actually going on, problems they're having in this community that directly impact their lives, their neighbors' lives, their families' lives. And so we've always found that people are more talkative when you sit down and you can have a meal with them and they get to put a face with a name. What we'll try to do before we leave here today is leave some of our business cards with the individuals here and give them a point of contact for the Sheriff's Department, not just for the next 30 days, but after they leave. After this 30 days is up, we still want people, if they've got a name, an associated name with a face, are more apt to call in and talk with us and provide us information which assists us in our investigations, because we never know what information they may give us that actually leads to something major.
I think we have several concerns in Candler, west of Asheville. I think that the drug activity is located in a few spots around Candler, and it creates concerns for the neighbors who are around those. This is actually the second COPS team that has come to Welcome Table. We were grateful to receive attention and to be a part of a kind of raised awareness on behalf of Buncombe County. There's a sense that Enka-Candler is a little bit neglected, and having the COPS team present did a lot for the folks who attend Welcome Table in terms of, people in the county do care about us, and we do have a voice, and our county commissioners are listening.
We just wanted to come out today and fellowship with this community. Sheriff Duncan is a big advocate of community-oriented policing. A community-oriented policing concept means it's law enforcement partnering with the community to address the concerns that you feel most important to you. So we're out just meeting with the people, the businesses, speaking one-on-one with anybody who would like to talk to us. We're going to work a special operations with a couple of federal and state authorities, trying to do serve some warrants here later on in the month. As I said, we're going to be here a little longer. If you'd like to come up and got questions, or I'll take questions now, try anything I can do if something that you'd like to know about. And if not, I'm going to leave her some of my cards, and you can call and anonymously report what your problems are, and we'll try to address those issues, okay?
Today's canvassing produced a lot of things that we already knew, but it also produced some things that we didn't know. It also let the community know that we're out here, what we're doing, and that we care about what's going on in Candler. We received a complaint from a citizen in regards to possible drug activity. We're going to follow up on that lead and just see where that takes us. Part of the neighborhood canvas, we learned that some of the businesses that I didn't know in the past, their concerns were needles, and that they had a lot of needles being thrown either in the bathrooms or outside, and that was a little bit of a surprise. We provided one of the business owners a sharps container and some gloves to help them safely be able to collect those. The homeless problem is an ongoing issue with the Sheriff's Office in this area, and we're trying to take whatever necessary steps that we can to, especially with the weather the way it's been, direct them to shelters so they don't need to be out in some of this weather that we've been having recently. What we've done is we try to partner up with other agencies. While we're looking at the game camera issue, that was part of the issue. Part of the discussion that we had yesterday was purchasing and incorporating game cams with our property crimes detectives to put those out. What we've done is we try to partner with other agencies that already use those cameras. We're trying to network with those folks and try to just utilize as many resources as possible. Today we're here at Biltmore Estate Company Police, and they're showing us some of the game cameras that they use and that they employ on the estate.
After our meeting today, we learned that the Biltmore Company Police currently employ a number of different types of technology here to protect the property and the persons who are on the grounds of the Biltmore estate. From the most basic cameras that work off SD cards and take still photographs to cameras that actually video record. They actually are also equipped with a camera system that works off a wireless internet system. So they go from the very most basic models to the most advanced models. All these are deployed by rangers here on the estate and are fairly simple to operate. So we envision this will be a type of project that we can get in on the ground level at the Sheriff's Department and then advance as our needs change. In the last 2 weeks, we've actually moved into the Candler area, per se. We've met with a number of the business associations. We've done some neighborhood canvassing of businesses and residents there within the community to see if we could identify what they consider to be the problems and priorities for the Sheriff's Department within the Candler community. We've done a number of enforcement operations, and we've participated in cleanup of at least 2 different homeless camps. We worked a number of directed patrols in the area. We've also executed a search warrant area that was drug related. One of the couple of the instant enforcement activities that we did while working in the Candler area early one morning, we had a attempted breaking and entering of a residence, which brought a large number of deputies into the area to include COPS Team 28. A lot of the suspects centered in and around exit 37 there in Candler, one of the local hotels there. Suspects thought maybe might be going or frequenting in and out of that hotel. Subsequently, we arrested 2 different individuals on outstanding fugitive warrants out of the state of Florida for felony arrest. We also did a lot of directed patrol in and around the Candler area, made a vehicle stop on a group of subjects. We're able to identify those persons, and in this vehicle were a large cache of weapons. At that time, when we checked the weapons, they were not entered stolen. That was probably midday. Later in the afternoon, those weapons were in fact reported stolen. Break-in had occurred at the residence, and based on COPS team enforcement activities, we were able to identify the suspects, positively confirm those were the fact stolen weapons. Felony warrants were issued, subjects were arrested, and all the weapons were returned. So that was a very good outcome for the citizens in the Candler area. Early on in our neighborhood canvass, we identified 2 different homeless encampments in and around exit 37. One actually was in a cemetery property right there at exit 37. Subsequently took inmates from the Buncombe County Detention Facility who worked hand in hand with the COPS team on a snow cover. It was actually a snowy Friday morning, and went in and cleaned up both encampments. It was very good effort on both parts, and we appreciate what the detention office and the inmates of the Buncombe County Detention Center did for us to help us clean that up. For the most part, the business owners don't have what maybe concerns that we might have identified. We dealt, most of the businesses are fairly happy with the way things are going within the Candler community. They have problems that are individual or specific to each different business. One business owner complained of syringes, used syringes in the parking lots and in the restrooms. Gathered some intelligence about possible drug activity. That's been passed along to the appropriate, both the sections within the Sheriff's Department and other agencies, state agencies who work those type of areas. So, but for the most part, it was pretty good interaction. I think the businesses were glad to see the Sheriff's Department out, kind of doing a personal one-on-one interview with them to determine what their problems actually were. And, it's amazing how much interaction some of our different units within the Sheriff's Department have had with these businesses, and how they work hand in glove to assure that we get our job done and we make their jobs easier. What we'll do is we're currently compiling all the data. As we've gone forth as a community, we've kept detailed notes, gathered a lot of information. We're following up to make sure that the information or intelligence gathered has gone out to the applicable units or agencies. We will do some kind of compilation of all our numbers, enforcement and otherwise, and we're going to sit down and work together this week to put forth a presentation so that we can report what our activities have been, and hopefully what we've learned from this experience on the COPS team, and that pass forward the information to the command staff of the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office.
During the COPS team presentation, each officer on the team presented different aspects of their plan of action: their business canvassing, traffic stops, increased patrol presence, game camera research, search warrants, and cleanup efforts in the Enka-Candler community. Again, COPS stands for Community-Oriented Policing Services, and the teams are committed to building trust and mutual respect between law enforcement officers and communities. It is critical to public safety, ensuring that all stakeholders work together to address our nation's crime challenges. When police and communities collaborate, they more effectively address underlying issues, change negative behavior patterns, and allocate results. The important aspects to the COPS team is the community, you. Keep an eye out for COPS teams in your area. Collaboration is the key to a friendlier, more efficient, and safer Buncombe County. To see the results of the investigation and outreach from our COPS team, or for updates on when and where Sheriff's Office will focus next, visit buncombecounty.org/sheriff.